Back to the kitchen. As always, you got your boy Chris. And on today's episode, what did I make? What are we gonna prepare? Well, there's something that I like. It's called a quesito. So it's just cream cheese with some pastry. And usually, they're pretty big, and stuff. But today, I made some little mini ones. So I'm gonna walk you step by step on the process of how I make these mini quesitos instead of the traditional big ones. So stay tuned for that. And if you haven't already, it does the channel great and it helps me grow to like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. I really appreciate it because like I always say, without you guys, my page doesn't grow and I don't have this. So I just want to thank you guys for stopping by, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to jump into that recipe. All right, fam. So basically this is what we're going to need for our quesitos. So in here I have some sugar. I have some Karo syrup. That's 2 tablespoons with 2 teaspoons of water. And for those of you that may not know what it is, this is what it is. I have 2 teaspoons of, well, actually 1.5 teaspoon of vanilla. Whatever kind you have, that'll work fine. I have a bowl here. I have a 1/2 cup of powdered sugar. We're going to use 1 block of Philadelphia cream cheese. Just make sure that's still cool but room temperature. Also, we're going to use our pastry puffs here. Don't make sure that they're room temperature but still cool, so that way you can work with them and they won't stick to your cutting board once we go ahead and move into the next step, which will be rolling them out in a bowl to put our mixture in. So what we're going to do now, we're going to go ahead and jump into the recipe of how we're going to put this all together. Also, I have 1 large egg, and I'm going to put a little bit of water in it just to cut the thickness of it, because as you're going to see when we go through the process of making our quesitos, you're going to see what the egg wash is for. So we're going to move into the next step. And so now we have our pastry puff flattened out, and this is what it will look like before that. So like I said, you want it to still be good and cool so you can work with it. This is nothing but just the flour that comes on it. So you want to roll this thing out, get it good and flat. And if this thing for some reason in here, if for some reason it decides it wants to crack on you or anything, just put a little bit of water with it. It'll be perfectly fine. So we're pressing down, we're getting it rolled out good. All right, so that's good and rolled out. So what we'll do the exact same process with the next one. There's our block of cream cheese. All right, then we'll have that vanilla. Give a little bit of flavor in there. Our next step is to come in with our 1/2 cup of powdered sugar. Let's put that in there, and that's going to be our filling. And what we're going to do with that now, we're just going to we'll grab us a fork, and we'll begin to work that all together in this bowl. So that's why it's always good. Make sure your cream cheese is good to go at room temperature. That way it's going to be easy to work with. So, and it's going to be sort of like a cream cheese kind of almost filling because of the powdered sugar and stuff, but it's all good. And again, everybody, I just want to stress this, everybody has their own way of making a quesito. So this is just one other variation of it. So yeah, it's a little messy, but hey, if you can't have fun cooking, I don't know what to tell you. I'll go ahead and we're going to keep combining this together until I get it to the consistency, and I'll show you guys what that looks like. All right, so here's our filling. Like I said, almost like a cream cheese kind of cheesecake mixture. We have all that blended. Now, since we have all that together, we're going to go ahead and move into going back to our pastries, we're going to cut them into squares. I'm going to show you how to do that. And then what we're going to do is take this filling and put it in either into a Ziploc bag, or if you have like a little plastic bag that you can put this into and almost like pipe it in there, you know, like piping when you're filling a cake or something. But I'm not an expert in it, so we're going to see how it goes. We'll learn together, fam, because I ain't no pastry chef. So we're going to put it in there, and we're going to try to get fancy with it. All right, so here's our first one. We're just going to take us a cutter, and all we're going to do is just cut it. You know, get you some good cuts in there. Make, you know, they ain't got to be crazy even, but you can make these as big or as small as you want. And then there's different techniques on, you know, as far as folding them. I'm going to show you the technique that I do, so that way they're fully closed. Some people fold them. We'll put the mixture in the middle, and also with some guava if you want to. And what they'll do, they'll brush the ends, you'll see, and then they sort of fold it to where it's open. But I'm not going to do mine like that. I'm going to have mine to where they're fully closed. So we're going to repeat the process on the other one and then move into getting this filling put in. All right, we got those cut out, you know, like I showed you before. Now let's try to get fancy. I ain't never did this before. I always just put some in there on a spoon. That's my way of doing it, but we're going to get fancy. So we're going to put this inside this bag, and we're going to get all the air out of there. And so when we do this, get all the air out, fill it up, and then cut a hole in the corner of it, and then see how we do. So again, just get your spoon, put it in there, get all the air out of it. Make sure we get all the air out of it. So, all right, all the air's out. Bam, that's how we're going to do that. Like I said, we got all the air out. We're going to get it down here to this corner down here. Just like that. And then we'll cut that, and then we'll start putting it in here. All right, so here we have that. Let's see how it's going to go. Let's cut us a little piece off of there. And get that out of there. We don't want that in our stuff. And let's just put a little bit in here. Let's see what we get. Might have cut that a little too big, but it'll be all right. Oh, yeah, we're gourmeting it your way now, YouTube. Look at that. Put a little bit in there. Yep. And then what we're going to do, we're just going to repeat the process for every bit of this. All right, now it's time for that egg wash, right? So let me show you what we're going to do. We're going to take and we're going to brush the top of each of these for right now. We're going to brush the top of each of those. Do that for both top and bottom. And this is going to help with sealing it. This is the reason I'm doing this, is because it's going to help with the sealing it process. What we want to do now is take, look like I missed the top of that. We don't want this egg wash to dry either. So what we're going to do now is we're basically going to take this right here and fold it. And then, actually, I did that wrong, I'm sorry. Then what we're going to do is fold it like that, then bring it here. Same thing with this one. Bring it here. All right, and then we're going to brush this. And we're going to roll it. All right, we're going to roll it. Now, there you go. So that egg wash will keep everything sealed, so when we make it, it will be sealed up. Now usually, I'm just making these on a smaller scale. Usually, I would make these a lot bigger, but for right now in these purposes, just for this, I'm just showing you guys this right here, but you can make these as big as you want. So again, here's the process. Roll it one time. Let's fold it here at the top. All right, we're going to fold it at the bottom. We're going to tuck it, and then we're going to just roll it. And we're going to roll it. All right, and then that egg wash, we'll keep it closed. And what we're going to do, we're going to repeat that process until we have all of them done. All right, so now that we have all of them ready to go, now again, you know, I usually make them, they're a lot bigger than this. But these are just, we're going to call these mini ones right here, just for video demonstration purposes. But again, you can make your squares bigger. That's typically what I do. I make them bigger. And then, you know, I fold them over and roll them like I showed you previously. So with that leftover egg, what we're going to do, because this egg is going to give it a beautiful color on it, when it's in the oven, it's going to give it that nice golden color when it comes out. So we're going to brush the egg wash on here. And then we're going to do one other thing to give it a little bit of texture. We're going to sprinkle a little bit of that sugar on top. Now, again, people do what they want to do when it comes to making these, okay? Some people would right now, I've seen it, put the Cairo syrup on it, the glaze. They would do that right now and then sprinkle some sugar on there. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a little bit of crunch. I'm going to give it a little bit of color because of the egg wash when we put it in here. And you should have your oven set at 350, and we're going to put these in for about 20 to 25 minutes. Again, you know, your oven may, you know, take a little longer, so, you know, always preheat. But so while you're doing all this prepping here, and then what we're going to do from there is, like I said, we're going to put a little bit of this sugar on there. It's just like a little granulated sugar. I'm going to sprinkle these down. We're just going to sprinkle just a little bit of that on there. Just a little. You don't need a lot, you know, just to give it that little bit of sweetness. You're going to get the sweetness from the filling as well. And sometimes, you know, like I said, everybody makes theirs differently. You could actually put a little bit of brown sugar, you know, but I've never did it that way. I've never had it that way. So like I said, we're just going with a little bit of texture on top. Coming into there. And then these bad boys are going to go in the oven. Again at 350 for 20 to 25 minutes. Okay, so I've pulled them out of the oven, and basically one thing I forgot to tell you guys, and I messed up myself, is that you always want to take that fork and poke some holes in it. That way it vents out and it expands. So what we're going to do now, we're going to sit here and probably wait about, you know, about 5 minutes, and then we're going to brush that Cairo syrup on top of them. All right, so it's been about 5 minutes or so. They've cooled down. So now there's that Cairo syrup, and what we're going to do is we're going to take our brush and we're going to brush this on here. You hear that nice exterior? That's what you're looking for as well. That sugar on there is going to give it that nice little crunch. And there you have it. And so just an up close. All right, fam. So that's how we make quesitos. You know, you can make them bigger, you can make them smaller, however you want to do it. But again, so let me show you what we're looking at here. As you can see, that cream cheese in there, we got that steam coming off. Now again, you can put guava in here with that. You can do whatever you want to do. Everybody makes theirs a different way. I was just showing you mine and how I do it. But as always, fam, hug your loved ones, tell them you love them, and until next time, peace.